Try unplugging the low hum of your fridge and tossing every bit of plastic wrap into the bin. Imagine an era where a steak on your table isn't just dinner, but a survival test against the clock, where freshness has to last for months, not hours. To win this brutal game, humans relied on a weapon so ordinary you casually shake it over your fries every day without a second thought. Simple, white salt. But don't let those tiny, innocent crystals fool you. Salt is a much dirtier player than it looks. The real question is it a cold-blooded assassin executing bacteria on sight? Or is it a master thief quietly draining the very essence that life needs to exist? There's a massive twist in how salt freezes time that we've all been getting wrong for centuries, and this is QC Project. Simple things. For most of our history, freshness was a prison. It dictated how far a sailor could sail or how long a traveller could wander before hunger called them back. To conquer the horizon, we didn't need better recipes. We needed a way to kill the clock. Salt wasn't born as a culinary choice. It was a military-grade survival tactic. Those barrels of salted fish and racks of cured ham weren't gourmet. They were portable batteries of energy. We didn't salt things because it tasted better. We did it so we wouldn't be tethered to the spot where our food was born. But here's the irony. Yesterday's desperate survival tricks are today's fine dining. The funky, deep flavors we call tradition were actually just the byproduct of not wanting to starve in the middle of the ocean. Our ancestors were simply trying to cheat time, and in the process, they accidentally created culture. But to see how salt pulled off this time travel trick, we first have to realize that food doesn't just die. It gets hijacked. Spoilage isn't a passive fade-out. It's a high-speed, hostile takeover. Think of your food not as rotting, but as being reclaimed by invisible squatters. Bacteria and molds are the ultimate opportunists, always waiting for a warm, wet house to throw a party that ruins everything. They don't just sit there. They actively dismantle your dinner, leaving behind a toxic mess as their signature. But here's the secret. You can take away their heat or hide them from the light, and they might still survive. To truly stop them, you have to target their battery, water. Microbes don't just like moisture. It's the liquid engine that drives their entire existence. This is where salt becomes a legend. It doesn't attack the bacteria directly. It goes after their supply line. It targets the one thing they can't live without: every single drop of available water. Salt's power isn't magic. It's a brutal law of physics. Nature hates an imbalance, and salt is the ultimate provocateur. When you coat food in those white crystals, you aren't just seasoning it. You're creating a chemical vacuum. Oh, the power of a simple grain. Imagine a bacterium as a tiny water balloon. Inside, it's a liquid paradise. But outside, salt has turned the world into a dry, thirsty desert. To fix the balance, water literally flees the bacterium's body to dilute the salt outside. It's a total robbery. The invader doesn't just die, it shrivels up, losing its currency for life. This isn't a slow retirement, it's a structural collapse. When that moisture vanishes, the microbe's internal machinery doesn't just slow down, it shatters. It's like trying to run a steam engine after someone's stolen all the steam. Talk about an epic fail. And it gets even better. Salt doesn't just bankrupt the bacteria, it re-engineers the food itself. It pulls moisture to the surface, creating a double fortress. You've turned a lush playground for mold into a barren land where time simply refuses to move. Incredible, isn't it? Preservation isn't about poisoning life. It's about masterfully controlling the water. Have you ever held a piece of cured meat and felt that undeniable gravity? It's no longer just food, it's a condensed piece of history. This isn't just about safety, it's a total molecular makeover. As the water retreats, the fibers tighten, creating a density that feels like the food has been armored against decay. You can literally feel the physics of survival in your hand. By evicting the dilution of water, salt allows the soul of the flavor to concentrate into a powerful essence. It re-engineers proteins to hold their ground, allowing for that perfect clean slice instead of a crumbling mess. Even in vegetables, salt performs a delicate dance, softening the walls just enough to evolve the texture while keeping the core intact. It's not just keeping the food, it's upgrading it for a journey across months. Absolutely brilliant. From this single obsession with controlling water, humanity branched into two distinct strategic paths. One is the way of the arid, and the other is the way of the aquatic. Same science, different destinies. Let's see which side of the war you're on. First, meet the arid conquest. Dry salting. You don't just season the food, you bury it. The salt immediately goes on a rampage, tearing moisture from the core to create a self-made brine on the surface. It's aggressive, fast, and uncompromising. This is the ultimate survival gear for the long road. Portable, brutal, and effective. It's how sailors crossed the blue void without their supplies turning into a biohazard. Talk about a rugged technology. Then there is the liquid diplomacy of brining. Instead of an assault, it's a slow, controlled immersion. By surrounding the food with a salty sea, you allow the crystals to migrate inward with grace. It's gentler, preserving the juiciness while still enforcing the law of preservation. While dry salting aims for a tough, concentrated fortress, brining seeks a tender, balanced peace. It's the difference between a weathered soldier and a polished diplomat. Same science, two completely different souls. One pushes toward firmness and intensity, the other toward penetration and harmony. But if salt is this powerful, this absolute, why didn't it solve the problem of decay forever? Why does even a fortress of salt have its breaking point? Let's find out where the magic ends. Salt is a ruthless killer, but nature is a master of adaptation. While most bacteria shrivel and die in a salt-rich environment, a group of biological outlaws called halophiles has cracked the code. Instead of letting salt rob them of their water, these specialists pump their own internal cells full of special solutes to match the external pressure. They don't just survive the vacuum, they live for it. It's like a submarine designed to thrive at the bottom of the ocean while everyone else gets crushed. Absolutely mind-blowing. This is the definitive limit of salt. It's not an impenetrable wall, it's a high-pressure filter. If you don't back up your salt with cold acid or smoke, these salt-loving extremists will eventually turn your fortress into their personal playground. They prove that, in the microscopic world, today's weapon is just tomorrow's habitat. Salt buys us time, yes, but it never truly stops the clock. Nature always finds a way to pick the lock. Incredible, isn't it? But here is the most delicious irony. We actually need these limits. If salt killed everything perfectly, we would never have the funky depth of a dry-aged steak or the complex soul of a fermented sauce. By being imperfect, salt allows the right kind of life to transform our food into something legendary. It's not a failure of technology, it's a masterpiece of selective biology. Forget the idea of salt as a simple killer. In the world of fermentation, it is the supreme judge. Salt acts as the ultimate bouncer, ruthlessly evicting the toxic invaders while rolling out the red carpet for the lactic acid elite. It's not a massacre, it's a sophisticated recruitment process. Oh, the brilliance of a selective filter. These invited guests, the beneficial microbes, don't just move in, they remodel the entire environment. They consume natural sugars and breathe out acid, dropping the pH until the food becomes a toxic wasteland for anything that causes rot. You've created a self-sustaining biological fortress where life is used to keep other life at bay. It's an ancient software for survival that never needs an update. Absolutely ingenious. This is the moment salt stops being a mere seasoning and becomes a high-tech tool of biological engineering. It doesn't just save the food, it transforms it into something deeper, sharper, and more enduring. You aren't just preserving a vegetable, you are mastering an ecosystem where time is no longer the enemy. What a masterpiece of ancient wisdom. You have exactly 10 seconds to turn an ingredient into a fortress. Start the clock. First, engage the surface with total commitment. Don't just sprinkle for flavor, you need to create a physical blockade. Bury the ingredient in salt until the environment itself becomes a weapon. Next, initiate the osmotic vacuum. Rub those crystals in. You need to force the internal water out into a desperate retreat. Think of it as sending a formal eviction notice to every drop of moisture that bacteria could use as fuel. Finally, secure the perimeter. Once the salt has bonded with the surface, the fortress is locked. You've successfully hacked the clock of decay and turned that ingredient into a no-man's land where time simply refuses to move. Remember, if you want a long game, be a tyrant with the dosage. If you want diplomacy, go for a brine. Either way, you're the one holding the keys to immortality now. Act like it. If you enjoyed this story, tell us in the comments what simple thing we should explore next. Your idea might become our next episode. And this is QC Project, Simple Things. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the simple things in everyday life. Because what you see is never the whole story. There's always something deeper beneath the surface. See you in the next one.